Okay. So I'm Judy Santiago Aladin. I'm a mom of two. I'm also a writer and I also have a freelance job. So um, before being a mom, yung buhay ko nagre-revolve siya around work. So as in ako yung tipong office mate na dadating sa office na first tapos huli uuwi. So doon ko tinay yung purpose ko in life. So, nung naging nanay ako, sobrang in-embrace ko yung role. Like, meron akong list on what to bring to the hospital. Nag-take kami ng husband ko ng course on breastfeeding para alam namin lahat ng gagawin. So, basically, I wanted to be a prepared mom. Kasi first time lang ito mangyayari sa buhay ko, di ba? And parang ito yung sinasabi nila na parang pangarap ng lahat ng babae, maging nanay. Okay. So, hindi kasi agad-agad na uwi namin yung anak namin. Kasi, yun nga, parang I was really prepared for my child. Like, ready na yung hospital bag. Pero, nangyari sa akin, pumutok yung panubigan ko at 34 weeks. So, 34 weeks pa lang. And, nung araw na yon pumunta kami ng husband ko sa hospital. Taxi pa kami. Parang feeling namin, sabi ko pa sa office mate ko, sorry hindi na ako makapasok today kasi parang feeling ko manganganak pa ako. Pero baka bukas pumasok ako. Parang gano'n, hindi ko pa alam. So, pagdating sa hospital, hindi pa super, ang tawag mo dyan, hindi pa super safe for the baby to come out. So, we had to wait three days. I had to stay in the parang special labor area, or parang intensive care ng for moms for 3 days to hold my baby inside kasi hindi pa siya safe lumabas. Hindi pa fully developed yung lungs niya. So, pero meron ding risk kasi mauubos na yung water ko sa belly. So, kailangan safe lang siya doon sa loob. And then, pag ready na siya, pag nakatungtong na siya ng 35 weeks, which is sobrang sakto lang, like 3 days para maging 35 weeks siya, doon lang siya pwede lumabas. So, nung lumabas na siya finally, she had to stay in the neonatal intensive care unit for 20 days. So, hindi ko agad na uwi yung baby ko after ko siya ipanganak. Hindi rin kami nakapag-breastfeed agad. Yung mga pangarap kong gagawin, 'di ba? Kasi pinlan ko na, pinrepair, ganyan. So, hindi ko siya agad na uwi. And may days na uuwi na kami ng husband ko sa bahay, wala kaming dalang baby. And what I was gonna do, magpapump ako sa bahay, iyak ako na iyak, pump, pump, pump. Tapos pupunta kami ng hospital the next day to bring the milk to my child. Kasi 1.5 kilos lang siya nung lumabas. So, sobrang liit. Parang chicken. Ngayon, nakakaubos na siya ng chicken. Pero para lang siyang chicken literally nung time na yun. And kailangan ko siya i-breastfeed daily para lumaki siya. Di 20 days siya doon sa NICU. Tapos, nung finally nauwi na namin siya, kasi lumaki na siya, kasi napadede ko siya ng ano. Parang kami ng husband ko, wala na mga doktor, tsaka mga nurse na tutulong sa atin. Kami na lang, nakabukod kami, tapos nakatira kami sa condo. Tapos, kami dalawa lang ng husband ko and our very premature baby na parang ang liit-liit. So parang, dun medyo kinabahan kami as a newly, bagong parents. Kasi, paano na? Kasi wala na tayong ready doctor and nurses to help us with our child. Naalala ko nung inabot sa akin nung nurse yung anak ko, sabi niya, kayo na po bumuha, tas parang wala nang balikan. 'Di ba? Parang sa'yo na yan. Ikaw na yung mag-aalaga dyan from now on. Sinasabi sa mga nanay, ang stereotype, parang dapat super mom ka. Like, dapat alam mo na lahat, pagkabigay sa'yo ng baby mo, memorize, alam mo na kung anong gagawin sa kanila. Parang yun yung medyo nag-stick sa head ko na dapat pag naging nanay ka, alam mo na yung gagawin mo. Which is hindi pala totoo. Kasi kahit sabihin mo na instinct yung pagiging nanay, kailangan mo talagang maging prepare for it. Like, hindi automatic na pag may baby ka, alam mo na yung gagawin. Hindi. Kasi, parang buhay yun eh. 'Di ba? Parang you have to really be serious with the child that's gonna come into your lives. Alam mo, nung pagkapanganak ko pa lang, nung ko pala na-feel na parang failure na agad ako as a mom. Kasi hindi ko siya napaabot ng 40, hindi ko siya naapaabot dun sa normal na kailangan weeks niya bago siya lumabas. So, dun pa lang, sabi ko, hala, ano bang ginawa akong mali? Meron talagang ganong in my head na parang, ako ba yung nagkamali? Or ano ba yung kulang? Nagpapacheck up naman ako, di ba? So, parang meron agad in my head na kakulangan sa akin. So, parang kailangan kong i-prove na deserve ko tong anak na to. And yun nga, dumating yung time na I had to choose between my career, which was super at the peak, nasa peak ako ng career ko at that time, or i-breastfeed ko yung anak ko, which is kailangan niya din at that time. Kasi nung bumalik ako sa maternity leave, napaka-igsing maternity leave ng Pilipinas, kahit in-extend na yun, 105, at in-extend ko pa yun ng another month. Sobrang kulang pa din siya for a mom to really be well, emotionally, mentally, physically, and come back to work, na parang walang nangyari. Yun, so parang I had to choose between my child and my career kasi gusto ng employer ko noon ay pumasok ako sa office daily. And hindi ko siya kayang gawin as a newly cesarean mom din, cesarean, 'di ba? Cesarean. And parang hindi ka pa fully healed. Tapos papasok ka na sa office ng like you were doing it for the past years. So, nagkaroon talaga ako ng struggle, especially nung nag-resign ako from my job. I chose my child, of course. I will always choose my children. Kasi alam kong makabalik naman tayo sa career. Pero yung children natin, kailangan nila tayo. They are just little ones. So, kung mabibigay natin yung pangangailangan nila at that time, yun yung pinakamahalagang magagawa mo as a mother. So, nag-struggle ako nung I was unemployed during the pandemic. So, nag-resign ako and then nangyari yung lockdown. So, imagine, dalawa lang kami na husband sa bahay with the premature babies. Around 6 months old pa lang yung baby namin that time. I was unemployed. And my whole life, I was employed, right? So, doon ko pa na-experience na wala kang pera, at wala kang pera of your own. Naubos yung ATM ko, nalulungkot ako daily kasi parang wala na ba akong silbi? Parang gano'n. Ang dami ko ng feelings of worthlessness na parang, hindi ako makaambag sa husband ko. Kahit na sabihin mong afford naman niya. Pinag-usapan naman namin na I'm gonna resign kasi I have to focus on my child. Pero, iba pa din yung andun ka na nag-resign ka, iniwan mo yung trabaho mo, nakita mo social media, yung mga office mates mo, they're still on it. Tapos ikaw, naging nanay ka, tapos wala ka ng pera kasi nga, ubos na yung sweldo mo, inip mo lahat ng ipon mo. And I didn't wanna ask money from my husband because hindi naman ako ganun before eh. So bakit, yun, so parang I really struggled with that, yung unemployment during the pandemic. Tapos dumating pa yung time na ang daming namamatay due to the COVID. Yung pamilya ko nagkasakit sila ng COVID pero ang layo nila sa akin. So parang add that to a mom who's just recovering from childbirth. Sobrang nagte-take toll talaga siya sa mental health. As a person, ako yung masayahin sa group, yung puro kalokohan lang, ganyan. Pero nung naging nanay ako, parang feeling ko, I was so little. Like, I was really, really small. Tapos, nireduce ko pa yung sarili ko to being a failure. Na hindi ko napanganak ng maayos yung anak ko na wala akong work. Tapos, parang sabi ko, katulong ba ako dito sa bahay? Kasi ang ginagawa ko, naghuhugas ng plato, nagluluto. Oh, di mag-hire na lang kayo ng katulong and I can go away. Parang ganon. So parang may mga ganon na akong thoughts in my head. Kasi parang pagising mo sa umaga, yun na naman, magluluto, maglilinis, tapos aalagaan mo yung baby mo. Tapos parang, nakabaliw siya. I mean, yung ganong routine. Tapos add the pandemic. So malaking factor yung pandemic na malayo ako sa parents ko, hindi ako maka-ask ng help from them. Sobrang struggle siya. Like, sipin mo, yung time na naka-face shield, naka-face mask, tapos wala kayong ibang pwedeng mag-ask ng help from kasi wala eh. Ginusto niyo yung bumukod kayo eh. 'Di ba? So parang I wanted sana a better life na as a new mom. Pero yun yung situation na nalagay ako. So I had to survive that period. And I'm so glad I did. Like hindi ko siguro may imagine na aabot ako sa day na ito na nagsasalita ako for a documentary on postpartum depression kasi nung time na yon parang sobrang daling mag-quit. 'Di ba? Parang ang dali-daling mag-quit kasi ang hirap-hirap nung pakiramdam na you are insufficient, you are lacking of resources. So parang nung time na yon tuloy ko na lang. I had, parang ang ginagawa ko, sumasali ako sa mga contest online. Yung mga makapanalo ng diapers, makapanalo ng detergent, yung mga ganun. So parang gets ko talaga yung mga mommies na gusto nila ng freebies. Kasi kung wala ka talagang income, gusto mo may maiambag man lang to your family. Kahit sa mga pasabon-sabon, di ba? Yun. Tapos, yun, parang I had those feelings na parang feeling ko, kailangan kong may ma-improve sa husband ko. So, sali ako ng mga contest, ganyan. Tapos, meron ako nasalihang contest. It's a writing contest. And I just wrote about my motherhood story. And, sabi ko, nagpakalbo ako kasi I had postpartum hair loss. So, instead na masaktan yung anak, kasi napupulupot yung buhok ko sa kamay niya. So, masakit yun for the child. Instead na yun, pinashave ko sa husband ko yung ulo ko, as in fully shaved. And I didn't care, kasi pandemic naman eh, so parang okay lang, wala na makakita sa akin. Pero, yung ano ko pala nun, yung self-esteem ko pala nun, sobrang baba, na parang okay lang ako na maging invisible ako sa world. I mean, may ganong factor. And also, yun, so sumali ako dun sa contest na yun, and I became one of the top 10 finalists. Eventually, hindi ako nanalo ng cash prize, sayang, pero I got hired as a writer dun sa publication na yun. And that really boosted my morale as a person. Like, na-publish ako ng isang parenting website. So, parang na-regain yung parang drive ko to live. Kasi nung time na yun, parang feeling ko nga, I'm gonna shrink myself until I'm no longer there. May mga ganun na akong thoughts. And it was really not healthy. Kasi, and I didn't know that it was not normal. Kasi wala akong naaral about postpartum depression while I was still pregnant. Wala nagsabi sa akin about it. Kaya, I'm so happy na gusto nyong mag-raise awareness on this. Kasi, at the time na I was studying breastfeeding, I was preparing for my, for childbirth, wala akong nabasa about postpartum depression. So, kung alam ko na pwede pala mangyari yun sa nanay, sana nakapag-prepare ako. Like, sana mas happy ako. I mean, parang, sana may pwede akong preparation for it. Kasi, wala eh, hindi ko talaga siya alam before. Ang turning point sa akin, kaya nag-seek din ako ng professional help, was may time na kaming dalawa lang ng anak ko sa condo. Tapos muntingan ko siya mapalo sa sobrang galit ko sa routine namin. Like, ano ba? Ito lang ba yung gagawin ko? UP graduate ako. Tapos yung trabaho ko, iniwan ko para dito sa batang to. Tapos ngayon, nanggangangaw-ngaw lang to. I mean, gets mo ba yung feeling na yun? Hindi, I mean, mahirap siya maintindihan, lalo na if you're not yet a mom. Pero it really happens. And, yun, so, nung time na yun, na I was about to hurt my child. Kasi, I worked for Bantay Bata 163. So, alam ko yung pakiramdam ng mga batang na-hurt, na child abuse. Ayokong mapapalo yung anak ko. And that's out of my galit, 'di ba? Hindi siya yung parang palo because you wanna do something to discipline. So, yun yung turning point. I don't wanna hurt my child. Sabi ko, I have to seek help. Kasi I'm turning into a monster na hindi ko na kilala yung sarili ko. So, nung time na yun, magba-birthday na ako. Sabi ko, birthday gift ko sa sarili ko, magpapa-check up na ako. Kasi, alam mo yung, nung time din na yun, parang, yung mga nanay, hindi sila nagpapa-check up for psychologist, psychiatrist, kasi may stigma na baliw ka. At pag baliw ka, kukunin sa'yo yung anak mo. Wala ka ng anak. I mean, ganun. So, parang ayoko umabot sa time na kukunin nila yung anak ko sa akin kasi sobrang, that's gonna be the end of me. Right? So, yun, sabi ko, birthday gift ko sa sarili ko, magpapa-check up. Kasi, mahal eh, 1,500 to have a consultation with the psychologist. Tapos, nung time na yun, pandemic, yung bahay namin, studio type lang, walang ibang rooms. Unless sa CR ako online lang yung online consultation with the psychologist. So, parang a mom referred a psychologist to me. Sobrang kinakabahan ako. Pero, Zoom meeting, ang ginawa ko, nagstay ako sa parking lot ng condo namin. Kasi pandemic, so bawal lumabas. Doon ako sa parking lot, doon sa loob ng kotse namin. At alam mo kung gaano ko minamaliit yung sarili ko, hindi ko tinurn on yung air, hindi ko inon yung kotse. Okay lang, doon lang ako sa loob. Ang init. And kausap ko sa video call yung psychologist. Tapos sinabi ko sa kanya lahat. And that's the beauty of that's the beauty of getting professional help. Pwede mong sabihin lahat ng nararamdaman mo down to the darkest details para ma-process ng doktor. Hindi mo kasi ito pwede sabihin sa friend mo kasi matitrigger siya. Or hindi mo to pwedeng sabihin kung sino man kasi isipin nila you're out of your mind, 'di ba? So nung nalasabi ko lahat nung pakiramdam ko, everything to the doctor, sobrang gumaan yung pakiramdam ko. And all she had to say was, yes, mommy, you went through postpartum depression and you were a very loving mother. Parang, you thought you're just doing what you had to do. Pero sa totoo lang, nakakalimutan mo yung sarili mo. Kasi there were days na I wouldn't take a bath for 3 days just because sayang yung time. Sana kasama ko na lang yung anak ko. Ganun ako I didn't know what's going on my head. Yun pala, mga hormones pala yun, mga unprocessed feelings and emotions. And may time din na, pag kasi kumakain kami ng husband ko, share kami sa plate. Tapos, minsan, intentionally, hinahayaan ko siya kumain. Tapos ako, sobrang payat ko na. As in, pag nagwe-weigh kami every month, kasi nagwe-weigh kami, weigh namin yung anak namin every month. Natutuwa ako when pag bumababa yung weight ko. Natutuwa ako pag bumababa yung weight ko kasi feeling ko mag-fly away na lang ako eventually. So, parang gano'n. Parang maglalaho ka na lang or something. And I wouldn't sleep intentionally also because alam kong pagising ko, nanay na naman ako. And that's so boring and that's so routinary. Parang gano'n yung isip ko before. So, I would stay up late until 4 a.m. Nagjo-chores pa din ako, nagluluto ako, naghugas ako ng plato for nothing. Na sana mag-rest ka na lang, 'di ba? So, meron talagang something wrong. And yun, parang na-diagnose na lang siya after. Kasi parang I also had thoughts that I couldn't share. And yun din, parang yun na yung sabi ko, tama na. Kailangan ko na ng mag-seek ng help. And during that time, wala pa rin ng work. I tried getting work na parang graveyard kasi yun lang yung time na pwede ako mag-work. Pero hindi talaga kaya. So, kasi nagbe-breastfeed pa din ako ng anak ko. So, siya talaga yung priority that time. And ang ginawa ko, nagbenta ako ng mga breastfeeding supplements kasi nagpapadede ako. So, nagbenta ako ng mga malunggay products. So, parang that's something I would never do. Parang feeling ko, pero kailangan ko kasi ng pera, pambayad ng insurance ko, yung mga usual expenses. And gusto ko din makatulong sa bahay, ganyan. So, the little profit that I got, I used to pay for my psychologist. So, I only had 2 sessions. Kasi wala akong pera eh. Ayoko humingi sa asawa ko. Pero sa second session, parang that's when my psychologist told me what to do. And basically, yung sinabi niya, change your lifestyle. So, kung hindi ka natulog, matulog ka. Kung hindi ka naliligo, maligo ka. Kung hindi ka kumakain, kumain ka. And find a support system na pwede kang maging kung ano ka. I mean, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to, yung okay lang na maging ikaw. So, I found that in my small group, yung mga college friends ko na also na ngayon mga nanay na din sila. So, they are 3 of my bestest friends in college. Yung isa nasa Canada, yung isa nasa Las Piñas, yung isa nasa Bulacan. Yung isa nasa Las Piñas, yung isa nasa Cavite. So, nagzo-Zoom call kami every week. Tapos, basically, nag-Bible study kami na something that I would never do as a single person before. Pero parang sabi ko talaga no, Lord, wala na akong pera, kakapit na ako sa'yo. Ikaw na yung therapist ko, please. Kasi wala na akong pambayad dito sa psychologist. Parang yon. So parang, I just needed that doctor to tell me that something is wrong. And then, ako na yung naggawa ng way para mag-heal ako from that. Yon. So, until now, nag-meet pa din kami online or minsan face-to-face nung mga friends ko just so I have something to look forward to. Yun. And I also have a community. So, as a content creator also, meron akong community, bagong nanay community. I started it when I was when I resigned from my job, so nag-start ako to create kasi I was a communications professional. So gawa ko ng Instagram, ganyan. Una parang flop. Tapos meron pa akong website, bayad pa ako ng domain, ganyan. Pero, yun, parang nung pandemic, naging okay siya kasi it was a Viber group for moms. So, nung time na yun, parang yun yung uso Viber group, ganyan. And then now, I had my second child. So, nangyari na naman. Nag-resign po tayo sa ating trabaho. Because I had to choose my child again. And I will always choose my children over my career because I can always come back to work. So, sa second child ko, doon binuhay ko ulit yung bagong nanay community. And until now, we are okay. It's just a support group for moms. Parang basically, I wanted to create this safe space where moms can ask their questions any time of the day. Kasi any time of the day, may gising na nanay to answer. Parang ganon. So, that's what we do in the Viber group. It's just a small group, pero it's a safe space. So, that's one thing that parang I'm happy to live, to see this day, na parang it's still active, it's still helping moms. And yun, parang ginawa ko na ding parang personal advocacy yung to raise awareness on maternal mental health because sobrang kulang, sobrang walang nagto-talk about this. And it really needs to be put out there kasi hindi alam ng mga nanay yung pagdadaanan nila na may ganito palang pwede silang pagdaanan. Okay, kasi nung time na I was feeling, yun nga, parang symptoms of this depression, parang I wasn't able to articulate it. But I remember one night na parang I was crying in bed and I told my husband, Tatay, parang I'm feeling depressed. And when I said those words, wala naman siyang ginawa, but he just hugged me. He didn't say anything, wala siyang advice. Parang he just was there for me. And that's what I really needed at the time. So, sobrang grateful ako sa husband ko kasi gusto ko kasing solohin lahat nung bigat nung pagiging nanay. Kasi siya na yung nagpo-provide for the family. Gusto kong meron akong bubuhatin na, ambag ako sa family na hindi ko din naman kinakount as ambag. 'Di ba? Na parang feeling ko tagalinis lang ako sa bahay, tagapagluto, ganyan. Pero yun pala, it matters at the time, especially for new parents, na yung worth mo pala as a mother, it doesn't decrease when you become a stay-at-home mom. Whether you're stay-at-home mom, working mom, yung worth mo pareho lang. Kasi you're doing ministry, you're doing godly work, raising your children. And yun yung feeling kong tinanggal sa akin ng depression. Yun to see that beauty in me as a mother. Feeling ko kasi I reduced myself to someone who is just doing the same routine every day. Pero yun pala yung power mo as a mother. So yung nasabi ko yun sa husband ko, feeling ko parang mas naging strong ako na nagets niya na parang you're doing enough. In-affirm niya na what I'm doing is enough, na hindi ko kailangang maglabas ng pera, hindi ko kailangang kumita ng pera. What I'm doing is actually priceless kasi he cannot do his work kung hindi ako mag-aalaga ng anak. Gets? And yun, parang it was, at the time, I felt like I was really valued. Kasi, another reason why I didn't wanna seek professional help was, yung tingin ko nga sa sarili ko was so small, na feeling ko, may mas deserve of the time of the psychologist than me. Yung ganong type, na parang feeling ko, hindi na ako pa-check up, kaya ko na to. Kasi baka yung iba mas malala sa akin. So I had to really pull myself out of that hole na feeling ko I was so worthless when I became a mother. So now, I really wanted moms to really advocate for themselves, to really claim their right, to take breaks, to take a rest, na hindi kailangan magpaka-martyr when you become a mother. Kasi bilang nanay, sobra na yung binigay mo. Yung mga anak ka, mabuntis ka, mga anak ka, mag-alaga ka immediately after giving birth, sobrang taas ng worth mo as a mother, and don't ever question that. Especially yung sarili mo. Kasi ang dali mag-quit when you're in the thick of it. When you're in the trenches of motherhood. Pag andun ka sa sleepless nights, feeling mo mag-isa ka lang. Pero I want mothers to know that they are not alone. And if feeling nila they are literally alone because they are nagpupuyat, they are alone breastfeeding, andyan si Lord. So I also want to make my life um a testimony of his love and his grace and his mercies. Like if today it's hard, tomorrow it's not gonna be hard anymore. His mercies are new every morning. So yung mga nanay, sobrang hirap every day. You do the same thing every day and you think nobody sees you, but the Lord sees you. Yun. So for the mothers, I hope they would never feel that they are alone in this journey. There are lots of people who are willing to help them, like a support group for moms, students who want to raise awareness on postpartum depression even though they don't fully understand it. So, ang daming gustong tumulong sa'yo, and please do not give up because help is available and help is here. You can seek and you can ask for help without feeling like you are becoming less of a person or less of a mother, because seeking help is power. That's really powerful. When you seek help, you share the load, and um, you will always feel na hindi ka enough. But to your children, you are their world. So it's important that you always feel that you are enough. Kasi doon nagsa-start yun eh. When you feel inadequate for your children, ang daming mangyayari. Pero if you seek help, if you know in your heart that you are enough, you'll be the best mother that you can be. And this is not a race. You just become the best version of yourself because you don't have to compete with any other moms kasi walang mananalo in the end. It's just up to you. And I know that ang hirap makita ngayon, lalo na when you're a bagong nanay, ang hirap makita sa ngayon nung end goal ng pagiging nanay. Kahit ako, kahit 6-year-old na yung isa kong anak, parang ang layo pa ng kailangang marating. But then, I think the important thing is, you know that someone loves you, someone cares for you so much, and that is the Lord. So, sa Kanya talaga yung healing and recovery ko, it's all because of Him. I made Him my therapist when I can no longer afford it. So, yun. I will always give credit to Him because I am nothing without Him. And I'm doing this motherhood for the second time with Him. And it's easier. It's easier. Pwedeng mag-relapse yung postpartum depression, but it didn't because I know the Lord now and I'm holding on to Him.